Chapter 51. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Night that I end the study. Wei Hong's fingers were clacking on the laptop, and various codes were drawn on the screen, finally forming a series of hacker programs to invade the designated account. As a genius with a very high IQ, in his previous life, he had already learned many skills without a teacher. Among them, hacking skills are among the best in the world. Within 10 minutes, he had easily implanted Trojan programs on the mobile phones of Wei Sheng, the Wei family, and Nie Xingyuan and his daughter, as long as their mobile phone numbers receive and make calls. The Trojan program will automatically record and send it to the designated email address. Although it may not record any useful information, it can always know some information in advance. At the same time, Wei Hong tapped the keyboard again, a video call interface popped up, and then forcibly connected to a certain computer interface. A middle-aged man with a square face and wearing pajamas appeared on the other side of the video. He seemed to be stunned by the sudden pop-up video and couldn't help frowning and asked, "What is this?" "Director Fan, let's chat." Wei Hong sneered. The middle-aged man finally realized that it was not a computer virus, and the pop-up was not a video image, but a video call that popped up forcibly after his computer was hacked. "Who are you?" Fan Chen's face sank slightly, and he subconsciously looked at the other party. His eyes were deep and sharp, as if a tiger was about to bite someone. "Wei family, Wei Hong. I just had some unpleasantness with your sworn brother today. The riot at the gate of Shinrui High School also gave you a headache, right?" He introduced himself. How could Fan Chen not know who he was? At the same time, the information revealed in the other party's words also surprised him secretly. What sworn brotherhood? Nonsense. Fan Chen subconsciously scolded, "I abide by the law and stick to my original intention. I never do anything to form gangs. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you have mastered some hacking skills at such a young age. Abuse of information technology will lead to criminal punishment. Keep pretending." Wei Hong laughed and retorted, "You don't think that if you wear a mask for a long time, you will become a real person, right? I sent something to your private mailbox. You'd better read it before talking to me." Fan Chen's face darkened. He quickly took out a spare phone from the safe. After checking the contents of his private mailbox, he couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. His face was so ugly that it almost dripped water, and his voice was a little trembling. "What do you want to do?" "You are a smart man, so you naturally know what I want to do." Wei Hong curled his lips and said, "Of course I want your sworn brother to die. Why are you pretending to be stupid? What are you kidding?" Fan Chen took a deep breath, threw his phone aside, and said coldly, "We only maintain social order and the peace of the people. How could we do anything illegal?" "I didn't ask you to do anything illegal. Just arrest and kill him legally." Wei Hong curled his lips. "Don't you want to do this yourself? It's just that you haven't made up your mind yet." Fan Chen's pupils trembled again when he heard this. He found that the handsome boy in front of him was even more difficult to deal with than an old fox. A pair of eyes seemed to have seen through everything. A new emperor appoints new ministers. Wei Hong continued to talk. The person in charge of this small area of Jiangzhou city suddenly changed, and the other party was transferred from the province, with a very strong background. "You must have had a hard time recently, right?" Fan Chen's face changed again. Wei Hong continued to smile and said, "You must have been unable to sleep every night, constantly hesitating whether to move closer to the new forces or maintain the original faction, right? What do you want to say?" Fan Chen's voice trembled. "I want to say that the Ji family will fall soon." Wei Hong stroked the ring on his left hand and said lightly, "The previous order will be overturned again. Whoever stands in the right position first in the reshuffle will have greater say." Fan Chen clenched his fists and asked in a dry voice after a long time, "How can I believe that you are not talking nonsense? If you ask around, you will know that I have had a very unpleasant quarrel with the Ji family, Nie Xingyuan and others recently." Wei Hong leaned forward, supported his hands on the desk, and sneered, "I won't choose to enter the game alone just to trick you, right?" Fan Chen's eyes flickered, and he thought about it for a long time before asking, "What do you want me to do?" Nye Xingyuan is a guy who does things flawlessly. He is the only one who holds other people's handles in his hands over the years, but no one can find his evidence of guilt. How can you not find it if you really want to? Wei Hong sighed and shook his head and said, "You are just afraid that the other party will implicate you when the boat capsizes, but you can rest assured, Nye Xingyuan is a very suspicious person, and he doesn't even know where to put the dirty stuff in his hand. I will send a piece of evidence to your public mailbox later. As long as you seize the time to arrange the arrest and kill him during the arrest, then these dirty stuff will not threaten anyone at all. At the same time, you can also make a big fuss about this matter, surrender to the new faction and flatter it, so as to ensure that your status will be further promoted. That person just came to Jiangzhou to gild himself. He will return to the provincial capital within 3 years. By then, you may be able to get close to him and make a living in the province in your lifetime." Wei Hong tried his best to paint a pie in the sky, leaving the other party with endless reverie. Fan Chen swallowed his saliva, and there was a hint of expectation, awe, and determination in his eyes. Finally, he nodded silently and said, "What are you going to do?" "I will cooperate with you in full force. Use the excuse that someone is making trouble at the gate of Xingrue High School to launch an anti-gangster and evil operation." Wei Hong knocked on the desk and said casually, "This kind of thing happens every now and then." No matter how vigilant Nye Xingyuan is and how wide his network of contacts is, he could not have expected that this was directed at him. "Next, you only need to arrange the personnel normally. Nye Xingyuan and his daughter have been completely pissed off by me. They will definitely send people to kill me. Oh, yes, please send some trustworthy people to follow secretly. The bodyguards around me are not equipped with guns, so it will be inconvenient if there is a real fight." Fan Chen nodded thoughtfully. Wei Hong curled his lips and sneered, "Don't think about doing tricks in secret to make me and him lose both. I have stored a lot of good things in a secret mailbox. If I don't cancel it every 2 days, they will all be sent to the internet. And as long as you help me solve this trouble, I will delete all these things and promise not to bother you in the future. How about it?" Fan Chen's face changed for a while before he forced out a smile and said, "Brother Wei, you misunderstood. Don't worry, I will absolutely guarantee your safety." "That's good." Wei Hong smiled with satisfaction and hung up the video call. Chapter 52. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just ended the call. A melodious piano music came from the practice room on the 4th floor. Wei Hong immediately recognized that it was the piano of the 5th sister Wei Qingqing. She was a creative singer obsessed with music. She had created dozens of songs, many of which were widely sung and were directly praised as a talented woman in the national singing scene. Today she seemed to want to create a sad love song. The piano music was intermittent, and the emotional connection was not in place many times. If it were in the past, Wei Hong would definitely take the initiative to help her, use his superb musical skills and aesthetics to help her remove the dross and retain the essence, and then play a few famous songs to resonate with her, guide her inspiration to burst out, and finally complete a perfect masterpiece. Unfortunately, he is not interested in this now. Wei Hong just felt that it was extremely noisy and wanted to drive her out immediately. In fact, although Wei Qingqing was a music fanatic, her talent was really mediocre and her voice was not good. In many cases, in order to help her, Wei Hong always needed to make a lot of efforts. After 3 years of guidance, even a pig can become a singing queen, right? But Wei Qingqing is only a first-line singer in China now. It's really useless. Stupid. Wei Hong snorted coldly. I don't know if he was scolding Wei Qingqing for being stupid, or was he scolding himself in his previous life for being stupid. In his previous life, he tried his best to push Wei Qingqing to the position of singing queen. But later when he wanted to enter the entertainment industry, the other party believed Wei Xing's words and suppressed him. It's chilling to think about it. In this life, love is what it wants. Piano practice room on the 4th floor. Wei Qingqing is wearing a white long dress, her delicate hands are placed elegantly on the piano keys, and every move is full of charm. This scene should be very beautiful, but the creation process is very difficult. She had a lot of inspiration in her head but couldn't play it. The notes of each measure seemed to repel each other and couldn't form a complete song at all, which made her more and more irritable. Dong! 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 Wei Qingqing was so angry that she pressed her hands hard on the keys. She was full of resentment. Why? I have returned to my most familiar home, why am I full of inspiration, but still can't write the best song? That she found that she was still missing something. Without Wei Hong's flash of inspiration, she seemed to have run out of ideas and had completely run out of ideas. Recalling the calmness and composure of Wei Hong every time he played the piano, she suddenly realized that this brother's piano skills were many levels higher than hers. In the past, he was just deliberately hiding and suppressing it, and she was blind and couldn't see through it. No, I have to find him. Wei Qingqing grabbed the manuscript on the stool and hurried downstairs. As a result, she was stopped by the bodyguards as soon as she reached the second floor. I'm sorry, Miss Wu, the young master doesn't like to be disturbed by outsiders. Get out. Wei Qingqing scolded dissatisfiedly. Who is an outsider? I am his biological sister. Ask him to come out and say I have an urgent matter. The young master has instructed that no one is allowed to disturb him during the break. The bodyguard still refused to give in. He doesn't recognize his parents and sisters by blood relationship. What did you say? Wei Qingqing choked in her heart. She was almost angry and had a heart attack. Once upon a time, she didn't even need to speak if she had something to do, just frowning. This younger brother would take the initiative to solve the problem. Why has it become like this now? Is it just because the whole family accepted Wei Xing? Wei Hong, come out. Wei Qingqing shouted angrily. I am your sister, what is your attitude? How long are you going to make trouble? Just because we accept Shaoxing, you are so jealous and repulsive? Is it because I haven't spanked you for too long? Come out quickly, don't force me to slap you. What can't we talk about as a family? You have to be like a woman. A grown man is so jealous, he really has no pattern at all. Wei Qingqing jumped up and cursed. I wish I could vent all the anger that has accumulated during this period. The bodyguard was about to force him to leave, but Wei Hong had already walked out of the room with his hair wiped. He glanced at him lightly, his eyes full of ridicule. What? You want to vent your anger on your good brother again? Wei Hong frowned and sneered. What are you talking about? Wei Qingqing scolded in dissatisfaction. Aren't you my brother? Stop it, don't try to get close to me. Wei Hong raised his eyebrows disdainfully. I don't even recognize my parents, and you expect me to recognize you as my sister. If you want me to help you compose music, just say it directly. You are still so arrogant when you want to ask someone to do something for you. You are still as shameless as ever. You? Wei Qingqing was speechless for a moment, face flushed. She wanted to refute these words, but it seemed that she couldn't refute them. Didn't she come here to ask Wei Hong for help? Why did the conflict arise inexplicably? Okay. Let's talk about Shaoxing another day. Wei Qingqing swallowed her anger and pretended to be generous. Come and change the song for me, hurry up, I will have a concert next month, and if there is no new song at that time, I am afraid I can't control the place. You still want me to be a cow and a horse? Eat shit. Wei Hong didn't give her any face at all, and turned around and prepared to go back to the room. What did you say? Are you crazy? Wei Qingqing was so angry that her face flushed. How can you talk to me? Do you believe that I will beat you? All along. The 6 sisters of the Wei family believe in the argument that it is better to beat the younger brother as early as possible. In addition, they have never been close to Wei Hong, and they are ruthless when they fight. In the past, they often took advantage of the age difference to beat him up. Pinching, slapping, and kicking are common. When he was young, Wei Hong thought that this was his sister being close to him. It is normal for siblings to fight and quarrel, so he never resisted. This also led to Wei Qingqing's outrageous words. Wei Hong's eyes turned cold when he heard this, and he stopped and smiled. I used to think you were my sister and could give in. Now try to move again. Wei Qingqing froze and her face was full of disbelief. She suddenly remembered the scene when Wei Hong attacked Wei Jiaoyang. This wolf cub dared to beat even his own father. If she played the sister's prestige, I'm afraid the end would not be too good. You bastard. You will be struck by lightning sooner or later if you treat your family like this. Don't think that the earth will not turn without you. No one in this world can live without anyone else. We are definitely not the ones who don't want our family to regret. Just wait, I will make the most perfect song for you to see. Wei Qingqing jumped up and swore in frustration, but Wei Hong was too lazy to pay attention to her. He slammed the door and blocked all the disturbing noise. What's the use of being tough? You really have to be able to do it. Everyone in this family has received his meticulous help in the past. Now that Wei Hong has left, what awaits them will only be endless torment. Chapter 53. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Miss, go back and rest early. Wang Ma had appeared at the stairs without knowing when. She persuaded with a complicated expression, her eyes full of sighs. Wei Qingqing turned downstairs angrily, poured a glass of red wine from the wine cabinet and drank it fiercely, then wiped away the tears of grievance that oozed from the corners of her eyes, and sneered, "It turns out that he is an ungrateful wolf who can't be tamed." "Miss, you didn't raise him either," Wang Ma reminded weakly. "Huh?" Wei Qingqing turned back in shock. Wang Ma smiled awkwardly. "I'm sorry, miss, I'm too nosy, but there are some things that we outsiders see more clearly than you insiders. Young Master Hong was raised by the old man. So what? Didn't he eat a single bite of food from the Wei family? Did we treat him badly?" Wei Qingqing was filled with righteous indignation and was about to list how good she was to him, but she hesitated for a long time. It seemed that she couldn't list even one thing. "Master Hong doesn't need this." Aunt Wang sighed and said, "Since he started living with you 3 years ago, he has made so many efforts, both openly and secretly. He has been rejected almost every day, but he still makes contributions without any grudges. The chairman has stomachache all year round, so Master Hong cooks stomach-nourishing medicinal food and silently takes care of his body. The lady has headaches and insomnia, so he taught himself Chinese medicine, acupuncture and massage, so that she can sleep all night. The eldest lady is too busy with work, so he stays up all night to do project analysis. And the second lady has dysmenorrhea, which he also cured." Aunt Wang kept talking. There were countless regrets in her words, the grievances and indifference that Wei Hong has suffered here in the past 3 years. She has seen all the efforts and contributions he has made. She has been a servant in the Wei family for more than 20 years. Watching him grow up from a little kid, in her heart, she had already regarded Wei Hong as her own son or nephew, so she couldn't help but say a few more words today. "Stop talking. Stop talking." Wei Qingqing didn't dare to listen any more. She covered her ears in pain, her heart already filled with guilt. At this time, many dusty memories came like a tide, and she suddenly realized that what Wang Ma said was not wrong. Everyone in this family owed Wei Hong, but he didn't owe anyone. Time and time again, she paid in exchange for indifference. "I'm afraid that anyone would be discouraged, right? Before, you were at most a little cold to Master Hong, and occasionally you would smile when you were happy." Aunt Wang couldn't help but continue, "He would be happy all day long because of these insignificant smiles. But since Master Wei Xing came in, you have been caring and considerate to an outsider, and even punished Master Hong first every time there was a conflict between the two of you. If this goes on, will he not turn hostile?" Wei Qingqing was stunned on the ground, not knowing what to think. In a daze, she walked to the back garden of the villa. There used to be a greenhouse here, which was full of her favorite epiphyllums, golden camellias, various roses, orchids and other rare and precious flowers and trees. Whenever she was in a bad mood, she would always come here to stay for a while. Watching the flowers competing for beauty, she would often feel happy and comfortable, but today when she walked here, she found that the delicate flowers in the greenhouse had already withered, only some ordinary flowers were still blooming. "What's going on? Where are the flowers?" Wei Qingqing murmured. "Have you forgotten?" Aunt Wang explained behind her, "In the past, your flowers were taken care of by Master Hong himself. Now he quits. The gardener at home is average in skill and naturally can't keep these flowers alive." Wei Qingqing finally couldn't help squatting down and crying. She didn't understand, how could such a good brother be lost? This night. It is destined to be a sleepless night for many people. However, Wei Hong slept very comfortably and slept until dawn. All the fatigue was swept away, and the whole person looked particularly energetic, in the early morning, at the dining table. Wei Qingqing's face was haggard and her eyes were red. Wei Jiaoyang and Du Sihui's faces were not very good either. One of them had a stomachache and the other had a headache and insomnia. They had to toss and turn every night to fall asleep. Their energy and spirit were not as good as before, and their appetite was also very poor in the morning. Mom, Dad, Sister, did you all not sleep well? Wei Xing brought out a tray from the kitchen with a few bowls of watery porridge on it, and carefully served it to everyone. You don't have a good appetite, drink some porridge to nourish your stomach. Wei Xing said with concern, but in his heart he kept taking credit. Alas, I don't know if Mom, Dad, and Sister like to drink porridge. Although I got up at 5 in the morning to cook it, my cooking skills are still not very good. It's all because I'm too stupid to learn how to cook, otherwise I could be like my elder brother, just cook the medicinal food, but it's a pity that my eldest brother has fallen out with my parents and now he refuses to cook, for a moment. Everyone in the Wei family had different expressions. Wei Jiaoyang was the first to speak. White porridge is good. I usually feel sick of eating too much delicacies from land and sea. White porridge makes me feel at home. Yes. Du Sihui was also moved. You don't have to work so hard, child. There are servants for everything. You are growing up, remember to sleep more in the morning. Yes. Wei Qingqing also sighed habitually. You are still sensible. As soon as the voice fell, she realized something was wrong. Why did she subconsciously say such words again? That's not what I meant. Wei Qingqing quickly tried to make amends, looking at Wei Hong apologetically and said, You are also very sensible, you are as good as Shaosheng. You are sensible, your whole family is sensible. Wei Hong didn't even raise his head. While happily eating his breakfast steak, he replied with a smile, You like to drink white porridge so much, I wish you can drink white porridge every day. What's your attitude? If you don't want to talk, no one will think you are dumb. Wei Jiaoyang was furious as usual. Wei Qingqing quickly advised, Dad, don't be so impulsive, as a family, talk properly. TSK. Wei Hong curled his lips sarcastically, Who is talking to your family? Brain dead. Your biological son made a full banquet with various medicinal foods, and you didn't read it well at all, and your adopted son pretended to throw a handful of rice into the rice cooker, and automatically boiled a pot of white porridge, and you shouted that it tasted good. Are you sure this family doesn't have a problem with their brains? Ha ha ha, idiot. A deep inner voice that only Wei Hong could hear rang in his ears again. A bowl of porridge tricked them into increasing their favorability. The Wei family is really easy to fool. They sucked away 60 points of luck in the morning. Cool. Oh. Wei Hong's eyes flashed and he couldn't help but curl his lips. It seems that the speed at which Wei Xing absorbs the luck of the people around him is not only related to the other party's favorability, but also to the length of time they spend together. No wonder he likes to jump up and down when there are many Wei family members. Thinking about the unlucky appearance of Wei Jiaoyang and others after their luck was sucked out in their previous lives, he couldn't help but be full of expectations. Chapter 54. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 3 days later, Friday, early morning. The Bentley convoy drove out of the villa area as usual. Wei Hong leaned on the back seat of the car and closed his eyes to rest, but the bodyguards were all tense. His eyes scanned the surroundings sharply, fearing that something might happen around him. Captain, there is a traffic accident on Chang'an South Street. Do you want to change the route? A bodyguard reported on the intercom. Change to Jianghuai Road. The bodyguard captain ordered. Understood. That the convoy changed the route to the riverside. At this time, everyone's heart couldn't help but tighten, because Jianghuai Road is close to the river. There is an undeveloped depression nearby. This place is sparsely populated and secluded, which is a very suitable place for action. It stands to reason that Wei Hong shouldn't take the initiative to fall into the trap. But if you want to fish, you have to go there. If he doesn't want to go to Jianghuai Road, there must be someone waiting somewhere else. So in the face of the sudden change, no one said a word of no. The convoy slowly drove halfway across Jianghuai Road, and a tanker truck blocked the way ahead. "Stop. Go and see what's going on." The bodyguard captain ordered with a walkie-talkie. The convoy slowly stopped. A bodyguard was just about to get off the car to check the situation. With a loud boom, the tanker truck in front actually exploded directly. The fierce flames and shock waves swept across, and the Bentley and Hummer off-road vehicles were all blown away and turned over. Boom! A series of vehicle rollovers accompanied by a sense of weightlessness came. Wei Hong and others all had tinnitus and groaned in an instant, and they were thrown around with the vehicles. Several bodyguards fainted on the spot, and even he himself was dizzy. The female bodyguards on both sides gritted their teeth to protect him. Fortunately, the vehicle did not roll over, and the bulletproof glass did not shatter. Otherwise, the aftermath of the explosion alone would have shattered the glass, which would have been enough to make everyone drink a pot. Bang, 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 subtle gunshots came from all directions. Wei Hong glanced and vaguely saw two vans coming from behind. Gunmen rushed down from the vans. At the same time, the manhole cover on the riverside was opened and someone came out from hiding. A total of 8 gunmen. The bodyguard captain frowned and said, all of them used silenced pistols. Their movements were neat and tidy. They may have received professional military training. It is not certain whether there are snipers. Everyone, be careful. Not bad. Wei Hong smiled, using the explosion of the tanker as a cover, and then using the silencer pistol. As long as the enemy is killed quickly and the body is taken away or burned, then through a little operation, the situation presented on the surface will become that the accidental explosion of the tanker caused casualties. The people under Nye Xinyuan must do this kind of thing often. The series of means are very skillful, which can be called professional, as expected of a gangster. Overlord, he was very decisive in his actions. Given Nye Xinyuan's connections in Jiangzhou City, under normal circumstances, the surrounding surveillance would be temporarily damaged and the police would be temporarily transferred away, if an ordinary rich man encountered such an attack. Even if there were bodyguards around him, he would not be able to resist it, but Wei Hong was different. The bodyguards around him had long known that there would be an enemy attack, so they had prepared a response plan early, when the enemy approached. The bodyguard captain immediately ordered the convoy to ram backwards frantically. Bang! A Hummer off-road vehicle backed up fiercely and crashed into a van. Although it had not yet cleared the road, the approaching killers avoided it. The bullets hit the bulletproof glass with a bang, but did not cause any harm to the people in the car. Crash! The doors were pushed open one after another. The bodyguards filed down with folding bulletproof briefcases and electric batons. Although they could not be equipped with guns under the gun ban in the country, the bodyguards were not powerless. They swung the folding bulletproof briefcases in their hands and immediately turned them into a shield in front of them. With the help of them to block the bullets, they rushed directly to the nearest killer. Bang, 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 the killer and the bodyguards quickly tangled together. Bullets hit the bulletproof briefcases from time to time, and also flew past the heads of the bodyguards. Occasionally someone was shot, and the people around them immediately squatted down to protect. Once the bodyguards got close, they would immediately use the sonda grappling method flexibly. With the electric baton in their hands, they subdued a killer in an instant. In the chaos, both sides suffered casualties. Wei Hong still sat steadily in the car, his eyes slightly squinted and closed to rest. 2 minutes later, the sound of sirens whistled in the distance. Fuck! Retreat, retreat immediately. A killer wearing a ghost mask roared angrily. He tried to drag the injured killer away while firing, but as soon as the police car stopped, a bunch of fully armed police rushed out. Police, don't move. Get down, everyone get down. Put down your weapons now. The armed police pointed their guns at everyone present without distinction. The bodyguards didn't have guns in their hands, so they didn't have to be afraid. They just had to find a place to hide and lie down. The killers were unlucky. Just when they were hesitating whether to surrender, the armed police had already decisively pulled the trigger and shot everyone. This good show started and ended hastily. On the ground, except for a few wailing wounded, there was only blood and bullets. Boss, the police are in control. The female bodyguard reminded, we have to get off the car and negotiate first. No, Wei Hong shook his head and refused. The female bodyguard was a little stunned, not understanding why he refused. As he spoke, for armed police appeared outside the car window. They pointed their guns directly into the car and shouted, "Get off the car for inspection, get off now." "Boss, we have to get off the car for inspection." The female bodyguard reminded repeatedly, "Although we are the victims of the attack, any non-cooperation before the police confirm our identity is illegal, and the other party has the right to shoot us on the spot." "No." Wei Hong still refused. When the female bodyguard wanted to say something else. Boom! A shocking explosion sounded underground. In the flames, the earth was shattered and overturned. All kinds of soil and gravel were splashed, and all the vehicles were blown away. Many bodyguards and armed police were blown away on the spot. The scene was in chaos, and even a large area of the river embankment was blown over. Puff! Wei Hong rolled over in the car for several times and spat out a mouthful of blood. The Bentley was hit by 2 explosions in succession. Although it was not exploded at close range, the bulletproof glass had already shattered. Various small glass fragments scratched everyone's skin, and everyone was bruised and miserable. At this time, the female bodyguards could not help but take a breath, realized why Wei Hong refused to get out of the car just now. It turned out that the real killer was here. The previous gunman was just a cover. The other party wanted to make him lose vigilance and then detonate the explosives. Then this big explosion will easily wipe out all traces. If we smooth out the relationship, all the reasons can be attributed to the explosion of the tanker. It has nothing to do with the gangster vendetta. Great! Wei Hong sneered and murmured, "It's a pity that I didn't die this time. The police came so quickly. This time you are a step behind and I have defeated you." Chapter 55. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Now insert an urgent news. At 8:17 this morning, an oil tanker exploded on Jianghuai Road in our city. The road section is currently under martial law. Citizens are requested to change routes in time to avoid it. The cause of the explosion is still under investigation. The number of casualties is still unknown. The relevant departments have promised to control the situation as soon as possible. Please do not believe in rumors. Ren AI Hospital. In the VIP ward on the top floor. The TV is playing the city's channel Today's News. Wei Hong is sitting on the bed and flipping through the tablet computer. Su Maogong and a group of new bodyguards are guarding inside and outside the ward, protecting him tightly, and not even a fly can get in. It was really dangerous this time. Su Maogong said with a sullen face while peeling an apple. Nya Xinyuan is still as vicious as ever. If you really fall into his trap, I'm afraid this incident will only be hastily closed as a tanker explosion. That's how it will be closed to the outside world. Wei Hong chuckled and said with emotion, "After all, it's a harmonious society. It's impossible for words like gang fights to appear in the news. 2 of us died this time and 5 were injured." Su Maogong frowned and said, although they all subconsciously looked for shelter during the explosion, they were still seriously injured. In addition, the police also suffered heavy losses, which angered the top leaders. Recently, the city is carrying out a special campaign to eliminate gangs and evil. Suddenly, this kind of thing happened. It's impossible for Nya Xinyuan to suppress it. Wei Hong smiled disdainfully. What underworld bosses are actually rats in the gutter? If they have a protective umbrella, they will naturally be arrogant and domineering. It is okay to bully ordinary people, but once the protective umbrella disappears, what awaits them is nothing but destruction. After all, who can compare with the state machine? Nya Xinyuan made such a big fuss in a daze. Even if Wei Hong did not make an agreement with Fan Chen this time, it would be difficult for the other party to get away with it. This time I dragged down the brothers. Wei Hong said in a deep voice, "We can't let everyone bleed and cry. This time, everyone who is accompanying in the convoy will be rewarded with 1 million. For those who unfortunately lost their lives, 10 million will be sent to their families, and the medical expenses of the injured will be fully covered, and each person will be rewarded with 3 million. Su Maogong nodded and agreed. The bodyguards in the ward all had bright eyes. These people are not afraid of anything. but they are afraid that the boss is too stingy. Wei Hong was so generous in spending money, and with the insurance bought by the security company, they could get a large pension for injury or death, so the blood shed was also valuable, more than 10 million for a life. It's a good deal. At least it can make the whole family live comfortably, right? At this moment, the loyalty of the bodyguards soared. They wished they could follow such a generous boss forever. Is there any movement from the municipal bureau? Wei Hong rubbed his eyebrows and asked. Of course. Su Maogong handed him the apple and said, it just so happens that the anti-gang and anti-evil operation has mobilized a lot of police forces. This happened. Although it seems to be an oil tanker explosion, the top knows what the situation is. No matter how powerful Nye Xingyuan is, he can't suppress it. Now the municipal bureau has held a meeting to discuss and pass a full-scale anti-gang operation against the Nye group. The police suddenly got a lot of key evidence from some unknown channel, and it is said that they are deploying a capture operation. Wei Hong hooked his lips, not surprised by this. If he had not negotiated with Fan Chen a few days ago, the other party might have bitten the bullet and withstood the pressure to cover up for Nye Xingyuan, but now anyone who is not a fool knows that the Nye family is doomed to fail, and covering up will only implicate themselves, so anyone in Jiangzhou City who is involved with Nye Xingyuan will choose to take action against him at this moment to protect themselves. After all, only by beating the fallen dog can you clear yourself of the responsibility. The Nye family is finished. Wei Hong sighed, threw the tablet aside, and said, Uncle Gong, you go and do your work. I guess a few cars need to be repaired. It's not safe recently. I'll stay in the hospital for a while to avoid the limelight. Okay, Su Maogong agreed with a smile. After today, no one in the upper echelons of Jiangzhou City will not know Wei Hong. This is a person who can force Miss Nye to drink urine, and then kill Nye Xingyuan. The waves behind the Yangtze River pushed the waves ahead, and the waves ahead of the surname Nye died on the beach. Wei Hong is trying to establish his authority by stepping on the corpse of his old senior. Such a high profile is too eye-catching. It is better to be low-key and avoid the limelight. I'm leaving first, young master, you have a good rest. Su Maogong stood up and left with a cane. As soon as he left, Du Sihui rushed over with Wei Qingqing and Wei Sheng. As soon as she entered the ward, she couldn't help but ask worriedly, Xiao Hong, are you okay? Mom was scared to death. How can you be okay after being admitted to the hospital? Wei Sheng gloated, pretending to be regretful and said, I have long advised Big Brother not to be so arrogant, but he just didn't listen. Young people should not be too impetuous. You are frustrated this time, right? Xiao Sheng, please say less. Wei Qingqing anxiously stepped forward and tried to grab his hand, asking questions non-stop. I heard that you encountered an oil tanker explosion and many people died. Oh my God, what happened? Is the underworld so lawless now? Wei Hong raised his hand to avoid the other party's touch. He frowned and looked at the bodyguard at the door, and asked, why do you let in all kinds of cats and dogs? Don't you know I need to rest? Sorry, boss. Please come in. That the bodyguards' faces sank when they heard this, and they hurriedly prepared to come up and drive people away. Wei Sheng took advantage of the opportunity to say, Mom, I told you not to come and see Big Brother. Look, he's so energetic and has the energy to chase people away. We're just trying to get in the way. Du Sihui's face was a little ugly, but she still patiently advised, Xiaohong, don't be stubborn. Nye Xingyuan is a man of great depth, and he has many desperate men under his command. They dare to do anything. Let's think of a way to reconcile. Yes, Dad has agreed to help. Wei Qingqing also anxiously advised, as long as you bow to him, he can immediately negotiate with Nye Xingyuan. As long as you are willing to pay a generous compensation, it is not a problem to save your life. You will never be afraid of running out of firewood if you keep the Green Mountains alive. Brother. Wei Sheng sneered jokingly, if they dare to detonate the oil tanker today, they will dare to blow up the villa tomorrow. You don't want to die with your whole family, do you? Listen to the advice, eat a full meal, and bow your head obediently. No matter how embarrassing it is, it is better than losing your life. Noisy. Wei Hong frowned impatiently and ordered the bodyguards, get out. Yes, the bodyguards raised their hands to stop him. The three wanted to say something else, but were directly driven out. The ward was quiet again, leaving only Wei Hong's silent sneer. Now you want him to apologize to Nie Xingyuan? Isn't the news too backward? The whole family is mentally retarded. Chapter 56. You are listening at novelfull.audio. East of the city, Jianyan Haoting Villa District. Nie Xingyuan was leaning on the sofa, his eyebrows throbbing wildly. Dad, are you not feeling well? Nie Qinglan asked with concern. No, I just feel a little uneasy. Nie Xingyuan sighed with an ugly face. Did Uncle Gue and his team fail in their operation? Nie Qinglan frowned and said, not really. They used explosives and guns. Wei Hong's bodyguards didn't even have guns. It should have been easy to sweep them away. Don't underestimate them. Without heavy weapons, a pistol is no different from a fire stick. Nie Xingyuan sneered, in a harmonious society, no one dares to make too much noise. They just hope to kill the other party. At this time, the short-haired young man came anxiously. He handed over a tablet and said anxiously, old Uncle Gue and his team may have been wiped out. The incident has become a big deal and has been on the news. What? Nie Xingyuan's face changed drastically. He took the tablet and swiped a few times, and the news report soon came into view. When he saw the tragic explosion seen in the news, he couldn't help but take a breath, and his old face sank. Oh no, we've been tricked. What do you mean? Nie Qinglan was puzzled. Isn't this explosion scene quite tragic? Maybe Wei Hong has been killed by the explosion. Impossible, he must be fine. Nie Xingyuan trembled and lit a cigarette. His face was livid and he said, and we are in trouble. Dad, what are you talking about? Nie Qinglan still didn't understand. The crew-haired young man sighed and said, Miss, Uncle Ghost and the others haven't responded since the incident happened, which proves that they are either completely wiped out or have been arrested. The fact that the other party was able to capture them all proves that they must have set a trap early on. In addition, we haven't received any news for so long, but the news TV station knew the situation faster than us, which means that the official level has reached a unanimous decision and we have been abandoned by the umbrella. The tanker explosion incident was too big, and people died. Now it has been suppressed on the surface, but the higher-ups will definitely take someone to task. Next, they will probably gather police forces to deal with us. Nie Qinglan was still a little confused. Nie Xingyuan glanced at his naive and somewhat stupid daughter, and couldn't help but smile bitterly, summing up, in a word, we are finished. This time we have hit a wall. I didn't expect Wei Hong to be such a ruthless person. How could it be? Nie Qinglan staggered a few steps and fell on the sofa, muttering in disbelief, he is just a high school student. Our family has been entrenched in Jiangzhou City for so many years. Many political and business leaders are our own people. How could we not beat him? That's the fact. Nie Xingyuan was also puzzled, smoking dejectedly and said, how did this kid do it? The mobile phone rang soon. After answering several calls, the young man with a crew cut looked even uglier. He raised his hand and smashed the phone, gritting his teeth and said, the situation is just as we expected. The Municipal Bureau is carrying out a special operation to eliminate gangsters and evil. It happened to encounter this incident, and the concentrated police force simply aimed at us. Now the entertainment venues, mines, sand pits, underground casinos, hotels and other industries under the name of Master Nie have been successively closed down, and a large number of police forces are rushing here. Master Nie, let's go. Let's go now. Nie Xingyuan's eyes suddenly became gray. Nie Qinglan was so scared that he almost collapsed to the ground. How could this happen? Obviously, they were still the underground overlords feared by everyone in Jiangzhou City yesterday, and the bigwigs from all sides had to give some face. They dared to do everything from murder to arson and usury, and almost no one could sanction them. How did the situation change overnight? Everything seemed to have started from contact with Wei Hong. Nye Qinglan not only suffered the worst insult in his life, and she will have to face the situation of her family being torn apart and her people being killed. How can she accept this? In a flash, the three of them remembered what Wei Hong had said that day. He said that he would make a bet that the Nye family would be wiped out within half a month. At that time, everyone was laughing at his wild imagination, but what about now? It has been less than half a month, only the fourth day. Damn it. The short-haired young man clenched his fists and said coldly, "This kid is so arrogant. I will take people to kill him tonight, even if it means we will die. Winners win and losers lose, and we should accept defeat." Nye Xingyuan sighed and shook his head. How can we have time to deal with him? Don't you understand that monkeys scatter when the tree falls? Now you should pack up immediately, take the brothers who are willing to follow us and have a clean record, and protect Qinglan to go abroad. That if you stand by the river, you will get your shoes wet. Nye Xingyuan had expected that this day would come, so he didn't panic at all and ordered his daughter to leave. He had already deposited a large sum of money in his overseas account, which was enough to make Nye Qinglan happy for the rest of her life. As for Jiangzhou City, she'd better not come back. "Mr. Nye, what about you?" The crew-haired young man said uneasily, "Aren't you going together? You are all innocent, just take a plane and leave." Nye Xingyuan smiled bitterly, "I may have to sneak across from somewhere else." "Okay." But the crew-haired young man didn't waste any words and quickly got up to pack his things. Nye Qinglan was full of reluctance and guilt, crying, "Dad, how could it be like this? Are we willing to be kicked out like this? Child, saving your life is more important than anything else." Nye Xingyuan poured himself a glass of wine and said in a hoarse voice, "Face and money are all false, just live happily, the money in our overseas accounts is enough to live, what else is there to be dissatisfied with in life?" "I'm sorry, Dad, I'm sorry." Nye Qinglan's face was full of tears, and she slapped herself desperately. Nye Xingyuan raised his hand and held her hand, and solemnly warned, "Victory and defeat are common in the military. I have nothing to be sad about in my life, and I don't blame anyone this time. Remember, you are not allowed to seek revenge on Wei Hong, you can't beat him. Also, you are not allowed to have any contact with Wei Xing anymore. Wei Hong asserted in the principal's office that day that he was the culprit of our family's destruction, and now everything has come true. This person is definitely using you, do you understand?" Nye Xingyuan kept on telling her a lot. Nye Qinglan nodded in tears and agreed, and the two were full of sorrow of life and death. When the siren sounded outside, the short-haired young man took Nye Qinglan away by force, but they didn't know that this separation would be eternal. Nye Xingyuan didn't plan to escape at all. He knew that he would never get away this time. If he didn't die, many people would not be able to sleep, so when the sirens got closer and closer, Nye Xingyuan silently pulled out a pistol from the secret compartment on the side of the sofa, and then put it to his temple. "Wei Hong, what a trick!" A sigh, and the sound of gunfire. The curtain fell on a generation of heroes. Chapter 57. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Night, inside the Xie family villa. Xie Sisi, Ji Peng and a group of rich second-generation young masters and young ladies gathered together again to drink and play cards. "Damn, drinking here is boring. Why don't we go to the club bar? It's so cool to have girls serving us." "Go to hell, the whole city is cracking down on gangs and eliminating evil. Many clubs and bars have been investigated. Let's not go out to cause trouble, otherwise we will be scolded again when we go back. Yeah, just drink it. Come on, cheers." The rich second generations clinked glasses in boredom. Ji Ping smiled and said, "Drinking alone is so boring. Let me give you a big melon to quench your thirst. Do you know why all the bars in the city were investigated today?" "Why?" Everyone was curious. Ji Ping gloated, "Because the Nye family attacked Wei Hong." "What? Fuck, no way. How did they attack? Did they send someone to kill him?" "Killing people is too cheap, it takes a few minutes to get a few guns, right? Master Nye has so many henchmen in Jiangzhou City, it's easy to get guns." talking about this topic. Everyone immediately became interested, their eyes suddenly lit up, and they wished that there would be a bloody storm in the outside world. The things in the rivers and lakes are too far away from them, but if Wei Hong is unlucky, everyone will still be happy to see it happen. This morning, there was an oil tanker explosion on Jianghuai Road. Ji Ping took a sip of wine and said complacently, there were 2 explosions in total, and the armed police were also dispatched at the same time. It is said that many people were killed with gunfire. Wei Hong's motorcade was there at the time. Fuck, so explosive. Awesome, Master Nye is worthy of being an old man, he is so ruthless when he strikes. I did see the news about the oil tanker explosion this morning. I thought it was an ordinary accident, but I didn't expect that it was Wei Hong's motorcade that was blown up. 666, I've seen the news video, the scene was so fierce. I told Wei Hong not to mess with her a long time ago. Look, how can he afford to mess with Sister Lan Lan? That the rich second generation was full of amazement. They were impressed by Nye Xingyuan's ruthlessness, and they couldn't help but gloat over Wei Hong's misfortune. It seemed that they had already guessed that he would be blown to pieces or seriously injured and hospitalized. At this time, Xie Zhijiang walked in from outside the door. He listened to the excited chatter of the crowd at the door for a while, and could not help but frown and cough lightly. Dad, you are back. Xie Sisi greeted him hurriedly. Uncle Xie, that the second-generation rich greeted him one after another. Xie Zhijiang nodded and handed his clothes to the servant, and then went to the wine cabinet to pour himself a glass of red wine, and then walked in front of everyone and said seriously, don't provoke Wei Hong in the future, especially you, Sisi. Dad, what do you mean? Xie Sisi said puzzledly, Wei Hong was blown to death, right? What do you mean don't provoke him? Even if he doesn't die, he will be seriously injured. What are we afraid of? Death. Xie Zhijiang swallowed the red wine in one gulp, and then gritted his teeth and said, this kid is fine now. 8 of Nye Xingyuan's men died on the spot, and he was listed as a key target for elimination of gangs and evil. When the police arrived at his villa, he had already shot himself. What? That everyone took a breath of cold air, and all of them were scared to their hands and feet. What is going on? A high school student forced a gangster to shoot himself. What kind of legendary story is this? Uncle Xie, you are not kidding, are you? Ji Peng was full of disbelief. What a joke. Xie Zhijiang cursed with a cold face. Now Nye Xingyuan is dead, Nye Qinglan was forced to flee abroad, all the mines, sand fields, entertainment venues, clubs, and underground casinos under the Nye family have been closed down, and at least hundreds of his minions have been arrested. The police have obtained evidence of hundreds of crimes committed by the Nye family over the years. If Nye Xingyuan did not commit suicide, he might have been shot dozens of times, and hundreds of his minions would probably be sentenced. And all this was done by Wei Hong. Although it is not clear what he did, from the current rumors, he must have reached an agreement with some people above and took action against the Nye family together. Everyone was dizzy. I don't understand what the twists and turns are. Everyone had only one question in their mind at this moment, how did he do it? So, your gloating just now was stupid. Xie Zhijiang sighed and poured himself another glass of wine. Wei Hong is no longer from the same world as you. Even if he is an elder in your family, you have to be 3 points shorter when you see him in the future. Don't provoke him without knowing whether to live or die, understand? That the rich second generation nodded desperately in fear. Ji Peng and Xie Sisi were sweating even more. They had a big fight with Wei Hong last time. At that time, he kept saying that he wanted to destroy the Ji family and step on Xie Sisi group. Everyone thinks he is a joke, and no one believes these nonsense until now, but now. It's because Nye Qinglan did too much, the two sides had no room for negotiation, and Wei Hong did not hesitate to kill the Nye father and daughter, forcing one to die and the other to escape. This method is really frightening. If our two families had not given in at the beginning, would it have ended like this? That the two people were frightened by this thought. Benshan Villa District, Manor No. 3 Luxury House. Hua Yinghao shook the red wine glass and carefully examined the information in his hand. this is a detailed information of Wei Sheng and Wei Hong. Mr. Hua, why are you interested in them? A middle-aged butler asked curiously. I can't see through it, so I'm interested. Hua Yinghao chuckled and murmured, first of all, this Wei Sheng, the son of a driver, can be favored by the Wei family, and all his classmates and friends around him don't like him. This ability is very abnormal. The middle-aged housekeeper was a little puzzled. Hua Yinghao continued, this Wei Hong is even more powerful. From a series of events he happened some time ago, it can be seen that he is a very capable young man. Even I dare not underestimate him. A high school student, not that bad. The middle-aged housekeeper was surprised. High school student. Hua Yinghao chuckled and raised his eyes, he can uproot Nie Xingyuan, the underworld overlord of Jiangzhou City, in just a few days. Do you think this kind of high school student will be simple? Hiss, that the middle-aged housekeeper took a breath, subconsciously, he didn't believe these words, but when he took the document and glanced at it, his eyebrows jumped a few points. A minor can actually reach out to the political world? The middle-aged housekeeper murmured with a tingling scalp. Yes. Hua Yinghao shook his head and sighed, this time, my third brother came to Jiangzhou City to gild himself. He was worried about how to clean up the situation here. But who would have thought that this minor would take the initiative to fire the first shot? Don't you think it's amazing? This kind of person will definitely become a local tyrant in the future. It's incredible. It's really like the waves behind the Yangtze River pushing the waves ahead. If you have a son, you should be like Wei Xiaoqi. Chapter 58. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Nie Xingyuan's death. It was like a stone that caused 1,000 waves. Not only did the upper circles of Jiangzhou City marvel at Wei Hong's methods, it also caused a big storm within the Wei family. Wei Jiaoyang, Du Sihui, and others sat around the dining table, each with a very strange look on their face. The table was full of delicacies from the mountains and the sea, but it didn't attract anyone's attention at all. Dad, are you kidding? Wei Linlang looked incredulous. Does Wei Hong have the ability to kill Nie Xingyuan? Could it be a misunderstanding? Yes. Du Sihui also looked unconvinced. Xiao Hong is still a minor. At most, he has Su Maogong's support, and some connections and resources left by the old man. How can he kill the surname Nie? It's probably just dog shit luck. Wei Xing was unhappy and commented sourly, this time, Master Nie's actions were too loud and attracted the attention of the authorities. It happened to be in the anti-gang and anti-evil campaign, so he was swept away by the way, right? Naive. Wei Jiaoyang sighed and shook his head, the gap between these two sons is really big, the biological son can already wrestle with the big crocodiles, and the adopted son is still in Makabaka. How can there be so many coincidences in the world? Nie Xingyuan has been fine in so many anti-gang and anti-evil campaigns, why did he fall this time? Obviously, Wei Hong is not simple. This little bastard probably borrowed the connections and favors left by the old man. Wei Jiaoyang analyzed with gritted teeth, asshole, he actually used such precious favors for the sake of fighting, which is simply unreasonable. If these favors were used for the development of the group, the Wei group would have reached a higher level long ago. Why is it still living in Jiangzhou City? The old man is really a waste of my Wei family resources by spending so much effort to cultivate such an ungrateful person. Everyone was misled by his analysis. Subconsciously, everyone agreed with this judgment. Old man Wei has been doing business in Jiangzhou City for decades, and I don't know how many people owe him favors. If Wei Hongzhen relied on the favors of a big boss, it would not be impossible to overthrow Nie Xingyuan. If this is true, it is no wonder that Wei Jiaoyang would be furious. After all, the favors of big bosses are not common. This thing cannot be bought with money. If they help the Wei group a little, it will soar to the sky. It is really not worth wasting it on fighting with others. He is so ignorant to do this. Wei Linlang couldn't help complaining. Recently, many projects of the group have not been promoted smoothly. It is much more difficult to make money than before. It's true that you don't know how expensive it is to be in charge of the family. Mom and Dad, you have to find a way to make him hand over all the resources left by Grandpa. Yes. Wei Xing also said sourly, the debt of favor is a huge resource. You can't let your eldest brother waste it capriciously. These are all opportunities for the development of Wei's group. Wei Jiaoyang was quite moved when he heard it, but he thought of Wei Hong's bad temper and couldn't help but frown secretly. This little beast is now strong and keeps saying that he wants to sever ties. Wei Jiaoyang sighed and said, if you rashly ask him to hand over the resources, he will definitely not be willing. Do you have any solution? That everyone looked at each other and shut up in embarrassment. What can they do? Wei Hong is now hard-hearted and will not be persuaded by flattery or pity. Playing the emotional card is a waste of time. They really have no way to deal with this guy, but Wei Hong is very vigilant. Whether at home or out, he always has 2 groups of bodyguards around him. In the entire Jiangzhou city, unless the police are dispatched to arrest him, no one can force him. Even Ye Xingyuan can't do anything with his assassins. What can the Wei family do? Lin Lang, do the things I told you to do last time as soon as possible to prevent accidents. Wei Jiaoyang sighed and ordered. Understood. Wei Lin Lang nodded and agreed. What he wants to do is to check the middle and senior management of the group. Once it is found that anyone is too involved with the old man, or is likely to surrender to Wei Hong, they will have to be gradually retired in the future or put in the 2nd or 3rd line for retirement, and must not be placed in important positions, in short. Wei Jiaoyang wants to hold power firmly in his hands. No one can challenge his authority, not even his own son. Dad. Wei Xing suddenly asked, where did Nye Qinglan go? I don't know. Wei Jiaoyang shook his head and replied, she should have gone abroad. I don't know where she went, but she is a minor and has a clean family. Even if the Nye family falls, she will not be implicated. Don't worry. Yeah. Wei Xing nodded, but his face was very ugly. He didn't care whether Nye Qinglan lived well, he only cared whether he could absorb the luck. This woman had a huge luck. Now that she has gone abroad, the distance is too far for him to absorb. I can't get any luck. That means Wei Xing lost a blood bag to support himself. At the same time, the fall of the Nye family also made him lose a big backer. The loss was huge. How could he not be angry? Damn, it's all Wei Hong's fault. Why didn't he blow you up today? Wei Xing cursed in the deepest part of his heart. Every time I get involved with him, nothing good happens. Isn't this guy the plague god who kills me? Shaoxing, why don't you look good? Du Sihui picked up a piece of beef for him with chopsticks and said with concern, Nye Qinglan is your friend, right? Don't worry, people from a family like her will face this sooner or later. They have all kinds of black accounts and gray funds abroad, and they won't starve to death wherever they go. Yeah, don't worry. Wei Linlang comforted casually, if you are really worried, just call and ask another day. Okay. Wei Xing squeezed out a smile in response. In his heart, he flattered him again, making everyone happy physically and mentally. After dinner, he took some time to open his stock account and took a look. His originally depressed mood immediately became much better. I saw that the stock account that was originally full of green. At this moment, dozens of stocks were all in the red. The increase was 3.5 points at the least, and the increase was directly limited. Wei Linlang's account originally had only more than 35 million, but not long after he took over, the total income of the account had reached more than 46 million, and the number was like a snowball rolling up and up. Wei Xing didn't know how to trade stocks at all. He just relied on his strong luck and randomly selected stocks with his eyes closed. Fortunately, the result did not disappoint him. His luck was indeed like a cheat. With this trick alone, he earned much more than if he just bought lottery tickets. Wait, this is just the beginning. When I absorb enough luck from the Wei family, I will open my own account when I grow up and play with overseas funds. I heard that thing can be leveraged. I wonder if I can make billions overnight with dozens of times leverage. The more Wei Xing thought about it, the better he felt. He even began to imagine how he would slap Wei Hong in the face when he became a capital tycoon. Chapter 59. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Half a month later, early morning, Wei Group headquarters. Dozens of people broke into the president's office with angry faces, ignoring the secretary's obstruction, and roared at Wei Linlang, who was sitting in the boss's chair. "Boss Wei, shouldn't you give us an explanation? Why do you want to transfer me to the cleaning department to sweep the garbage when I am doing well in the finance department? Boss Wei, do you think we are not doing well? What does it mean to suddenly issue this transfer notice? Please explain." Everyone roared in unison. Wei Linlang frowned and raised his eyes, scanning the faces of everyone present one by one. These people included men, women, old and young, from various departments, from the heads of the administration department and the finance department to managers and supervisors, almost covering 1/3 of the middle and senior management of Wei Group. During this period, Wei Jiaoyang and Wei Linlang, father and daughter, began to investigate the entire group. In a big way, all the middle and senior management who had been funded by Mr. Wei, had been favored by him, and were close to Wei Hong were investigated. For a while, the group was in turmoil. These people were the unlucky ones who received the transfer notice after the preliminary investigation. "Let's go to the conference room to talk. There is not enough room for so many people here." Wei Linlang had expected this to happen, so she stood up, adjusted her high-end women's suit, and strode towards the large conference room. Seeing this, the others followed angrily. After a while, the group sat down in the conference room. Wei Linlang sat at the main table, took a sip of the coffee brought by the secretary, and then said, "I'm sure you are all very angry and confused. Why did you receive a transfer notice inexplicably, right? In fact, the reason is very simple. This is a major transformation plan made by the group recently. In recent years, our group's management has been older, and many people are not enterprising and can't keep up with the trend of the times, but they always occupy the senior management position and refuse to let go. This behavior seriously hinders the promotion channel of young employees and greatly hits their ambition and desire to struggle. It is very unfavorable for the development of the group, so we made such adjustments with great pain. In the future, a large number of young people will be promoted. You can only temporarily retreat to the second and third lines to rest. I hope everyone will be more tolerant for the development of the group." A long paragraph of official clichés is finished. Wei Linlang continued to drink coffee elegantly, completely ignoring the people below who were almost exploding. "Bullshit, I've worked in the group for more than 20 years and built the sales department's framework. You say I'm old and not ambitious." The sales director in his 40s was so angry that he slammed the table and cursed. "I built many network projects in the company. How can you destroy the bridge after crossing the river? That's right. We have worked hard in the group over the years, right? Boss Wei, aren't you afraid that the group will fall into turmoil if you do this? We will go to labor arbitration." Everyone threatened and vented. Wei Linlang put down the coffee cup, then curled her red lips and sneered, "The earth will still turn without anyone. You don't think that no one can take over if you leave, right? I don't know how much your subordinates want to take your position. As for labor arbitration, you can do whatever you want. The group has a huge legal department, but it's not for nothing. It's not illegal to transfer positions without reducing salaries. You can sue at will." Everyone was so angry that they clenched their fists when they heard it. Damn the job transfer without salary reduction. In fact, it is just the basic salary that will not be reduced. All of them are in high positions and do not rely on basic salary to make a living. The bulk of their income comes from group dividends, performance rewards, sales dividends, various dealer gifts, etc. And power is sometimes more precious than money. If they are transferred to the cleaning department to sweep the floor, they will lose all their dignity and face. When facing their colleagues, they may not even be able to raise their heads. Wouldn't they be laughed to death? Boss Wei, is there really no room for negotiation? A middle-aged director frowned and asked, "If all of us are transferred, it will definitely cause great fluctuations in the group. Will the board of directors agree? What about young Master Wei? You don't have to worry about this." Wei Linlang raised the corner of her mouth and sneered disdainfully, Wei Hong is not yet an adult, and he does not hold any position in the group. I know that all of you are loyal subordinates of Grandpa, and you dream of him taking charge of the group, but now no one can save you. If anyone wants to change his job, hand over the connections, resources, and core secrets in your hands, I can consider reinstating him, otherwise you can just wait to rot and stink in the cleaning department. Oh, yes, you can try to resign on your own, but you are leaving the Wei group at such an old age, are you sure someone dares to take you in? A lot of coercion and inducement. Everyone's face turned ugly again. At this time, no matter how stupid everyone was, they knew that this was a targeted fight where they had to choose sides. Wei Jiaoyang must have solved these safety risks in advance to prevent his son from seizing power. No wonder he made such a big fuss. This director Wei was really cruel to his own people. The arm can never twist the thigh. Wei Linlang played with her nails carelessly and sneered, so what if the old man wants Wei Hong to be the heir of the group? What if he left a large amount of shares for him to inherit? Now the group is my father's boss. Whoever he wants to take charge of the group is the heir. As for Wei Hong, he is just a little kid who is hated by others. You have to pay a price if you want to follow him. Everyone, think about it for yourself. If you are not convinced, you can try to find Wei Hong or Su Maogong. Uncle Gong also has some say in the board of directors. See if you can change my father's will. Wei Linlang glanced at the whole audience with a smile. Silently exerted heavy pressure on everyone, choosing Wei Hong or Wei Jiaoyang, this is a difficult problem. Choosing the prince means sitting on the bench, and the future is confused and at a loss. Choosing Wei Jiaoyang means betrayal, and you have to hand over your network resources. It is still unknown whether you will be demolished in the future. This choice is so difficult that everyone is stunned. After a long time, a middle-aged female manager sneered and stood up and walked out. Transfer to another position. I have worked for the group for more than 10 years, and I have a body of occupational diseases. It's just right to go to the cleaning department to recuperate. Yes, I'm not afraid of transfer, I won't fall for it. You want to take my exclusive network and secrets away, it's wishful thinking, I will never bow my head even if I resign. It's just a job, who are you trying to scare? That the executives are all capable and have means, they don't fall for coercion and inducement at all. After weighing the pros and cons, they all left the meeting room cursing. Seeing this, Wei Linlang was so angry that her face turned blue. She picked up the coffee cup and smashed it to the ground, saying in a low voice, Okay, I hope you guys will always be so courageous. Do you really think you can go against the group with Wei Hong as your backer? Dream on. Chapter 60. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Transfer. Interesting. In the afternoon. On the golf course, Wei Hong and Su Maogong swing for fun. Several middle and senior representatives of the Wei group who were transferred to other positions stood aside and chattered. They directly described the disgusting behavior of Wei Linlang and his daughter. The fact that they took the initiative to come to the door naturally means that they have made a choice. In this struggle between father and son for power, they chose to stand with Wei Hong. First, he was the heir personally selected by Mr. Wei, and second, they did not trust Wei Jiaoyang and his daughter. Whether for their own interests or to repay their gratitude, Wei Hong was the best candidate. Mr. Wei, what do you think? A middle-aged vice president frowned and said, Now the small cleaning department of the group has almost become a big mess. General managers, vice presidents, and supervisors are all stuffed in. Everyone is now doing nothing every day and has been directly sidelined. Yeah, we don't know what to do now. Mr. Wei, please give us an idea. If this matter is not resolved, we are afraid that we will be in trouble. A pair of scrutinizing eyes looked at Wei Hong, and their words were full of temptation. These days, bosses and employees have always made two-way choices. Although they all know that Wei Hong is very capable, they still have to observe whether he can bear the heavy responsibility. Once he can't bear the burden, these people will naturally not waste time with him. Puff. Wei Hong swung a club leisurely. The golf ball drew a perfect parabola and landed on the edge of a hole dozens of meters away. He smiled with satisfaction, and then said, My uncles have watched me grow up, and everyone knows what's going on this time. You are counting on me to come back to Wei Group to compete for the chairman's seat after I come of age, right? That's right. Who else can take charge of the group left by the old man except you? Although you are young, you have been cultivated since childhood, and you spend your spare time in the group office. We believe in you. Once you come of age, you can inherit 30% of the group's shares. At that time, Uncle Gong will unite a group of old shareholders, and the advantage will be ours. Wei Xiao, we support you. Everyone expressed their opinions. But Wei Hong shook his head and chuckled, it's useless. Wei Jiaoyang, this old fox, is not good at expanding territory, but he is very ruthless in internal fighting. He can use dilution, mortgage and other means to get rid of shares for such a long time. It's time-consuming and laborious to sue, and he can drag me to death. The atmosphere in the whole venue suddenly became solemn. Wei Hong continued, in fact, I never thought about inheriting the Wei Group. Although this is the kingdom that the old man conquered, the group has been rotten for decades and has too many internal problems. I don't want to waste my energy on arguing with the board of directors every day. Do you mean to create a new group? The middle-aged vice president showed surprise. Not bad. Wei Hong nodded and said, originally, I wanted to establish the group framework after I came of age and gradually recruit you all, but now that Wei Jiaoyang and his daughter have played such a trick, I think my plan will have to be advanced. Next, I will ask Uncle Gong to go to Hong Kong and register a multinational company there. He will be the legal person, and I will be the largest shareholder. You need to be an adult to inherit your grandfather's legacy, but there is no age limit for being a shareholder of a company, so this is the only way to avoid risks and quickly build a framework. The eyes of several people lit up and their breathing gradually became rapid. Wei Hong posed and swung again, then he ambitiously envisioned the blueprint. The name of the group is tentatively set as Hongsheng. The future industries will involve finance, internet, investment, industry, real estate, beauty, medicine and other industries. The territory will expand to all parts of the world. I want to build a behemoth worth hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars. You have left the small fish pond of Wei Group, and following me will only make it more glorious. For a moment, everyone present was excited by these words. Although they are in high positions, most of them are no longer satisfied with retirement in Wei Group. Many people still want to expand their territory. Wei Hong's description of the scene perfectly meets their psychological expectations. Hongsheng Group, good, good. Good name, ha ha ha. Young Master Wei wants to start a new business, how can he leave us? Just right, damn, I'm fed up with the faces of Wei Jiaoyang and his daughter. We will resign immediately and follow you. Several people rushed to express their opinions. Wei Hong raised his hand to stop him, no. Why are you resigning? Just take a rest in Wei Group. You still have to go through the various procedures of Hongsheng Group for several months. Wouldn't it be better to enjoy the various benefits? Ha ha ha. The middle-aged vice president laughed heartily. Indeed, I have been staying up late every day to accompany customers in recent years, and my body is full of diseases of all sizes. If I can take good care of myself for a few months, I can live a few years longer. Great, paid vacation, cool. Okay. I'll tell everyone to play dirty in the cleaning department when I get back. People around laughed. Wei Hong also waved his hand and joked, play dirty, but don't report problems within the group, or deliberately lose important project data or poach other partners, right? You can't encourage your subordinates to resign en masse, it's immoral. Ha ha ha, everyone laughed again. A middle-aged female supervisor joked, don't worry, Wei Xiao, we all understand that without us, Wei Group will be in chaos for a while even if it doesn't collapse, so it's just right for them to suffer. Okay. Wei Hong nodded and said, please notify everyone that the difficulties are only temporary. After 3 months, all the procedures of Hongsheng Group will be completed, and each of you will receive a big red envelope for joining the company. I promise that it will be more than what you earned in the past 3 months. Thank you, Wei Xiao. Great, I'll let everyone know right away. that everyone was very satisfied and thanked him profusely. After everything was settled, these people left with satisfaction. Su Maogong frowned and glanced at them, puzzled. Are they all accepted? Do you want to screen them? Wei Hong naturally knew what he meant by that. The people driven out by Wei Jiaoyang would inevitably plant nails, and there were also people who were just filling in the numbers. It was obviously not cost-effective to accept all of them. The correct approach was to select the valuable ones, but after thinking about it, he shook his head and said, the new group was just in need of people at the beginning of its establishment. Regardless of whether these people are loyal or not, they have the means and ability to get to the middle and senior levels of the group. At this time, rash screening can easily cause panic. Take them all. Okay. Su Maogong patted his old waist, and then sighed, I am destined to be a hard worker. I will go to Hong Kong in the next 2 days to implement the group's affairs as soon as possible. Expand the stall a little bit. Wei Hong reminded, please go and take care of all the formalities, licenses, and domestic procedures in person. I would not trust anyone else. Okay. Su Maogong nodded and promised, I will bring a team of lawyers with me and ensure that it will be done as quickly as possible.